Bihare. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Banachare. Yamunatira Banachare. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Banachare. Yamunatira Banachare. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Banachare. Yamunatira Banachare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Banachare. Yamunatira Banachare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radhe, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath. Jaya Shri Gopal, Shri Gopal, Shri Gopal, Jaya Shri Gopal. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol Nitai, Gora Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, ISKCON Guru Vrinda ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Om Gantimirandasya Gnanandana Shalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutare Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Rughunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavepyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhutai Mat Prema, Puravibhur, Nirmaya Kshatir Mushapurusha, Bhungte Ganan Suda Susada Satmaka, Lankrishista Bhagavan, Vacham Sime.
Hare Krishna. So we are very happy today. We have the Holy Association of His Holiness Bhakti Rasayan Sagar Maharaj with us. Hari Bol! So Maharaj is very kind to ISKCON Chowpatty devotees, has been coming regularly here. Every year we get his association, sometimes in October, sometimes in month of March. So we are happy that Maharaj came here. Maharaj visits India for his holy tour, Kartik, and then travels around India. And in his India itinerary, he always keeps our ISKCON Chowpatty also as a, not just to visit, but to stay here and give his association. So many of the devotees have met Maharaj or heard Maharaj, seen Maharaj. We want to just give a brief introduction before he begins his divine talk. Bhakti Rasayan Sagar Maharaj is a very, very senior disciple of His Holiness Indradumna Swami Maharaj, and the only sannyas disciple of Maharaj, as I got in introduction. Maharaj has been hailing from Russia actually, and preaching there for many decades. Very difficult place to preach. All is different. It's easy to know Russia, Moscow, travel and tour is another thing, but to go and stay there in difficult conditions, in sometimes difficult weather conditions, and also considering Krishna consciousness is not very easily accepted by the leaders in terms of government authorities and all, and to preach there in all over the whole region of Russia is a very tough thing. But Maharaj has been doing this for many, many years and dedicating his life for Srila Prabhupada's mission. He has played many roles in his service in Russia. He has been for many years Sankirtan leader, temple president, regional secretary, GBC deputy, and currently he is also serving in the International Society in the, as a member of Sabha, which is advisory body to the GBC for Shastric relevance. So very, very happy that Maharaj has come here and giving his time and his association to all of us. So let us very warmly and very, in a very genuine appreciation, thank Maharaj for coming here, and let us welcome Maharaj to his own temple here by 3 times loudly chanting, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you, Maharaj, for coming.
Hare Krishna. Actually, I can say whatever I can say only with your blessings, because it's great honor for me to be here. So many of you are my heroes, even though I'm not always in Chowpatty physically, but I'm always in Chowpatty in my consciousness, because I keep listening to the classes so many Chowpatty devotee gives. And so in my mind, you're all my heroes, and I'm here a zero. But hope for a zero, if heroes will give little blessing, then zero will have little value. So, and you are my gurus, I'm learning from you, but somehow, every time I come to Chowpatty, devotees also want me to speak on Bhagavatam, so I feel like passing an exam, how well I've learned listening from all of you. Of course, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, because as we know, exams are most common reason for intense prayers. So it's beneficial for me. So counting on all your blessings, we will read from the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 10, text 15. Chapter is entitled Divisions of the Creation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Adyastu Mahata Sargo. Adyastu Mahata Sargo. Guna Vaishamyam Atmanaham. Guna Vaishamyam Atmanaham. Dvitiyastu Dityastu ahamo yatra. Dityastu ahamo yatra. Dravya jnana kriyadaya. Dravya jnana kriyadaya. Adyastu mahata sarga. Gunavaishamyam atmanaha. Dityastu ahamo yatra. Dravya jnana kriyadaya. Please. Dityastu yatra. Yeah, the third line, yeah, I wrongly read. It's not tu, it's T and V. Tva. Tvahamo. Somebody else? Adyastu mahata sarga. Astu Gunavaisham Ditiyastvahamo yatra Ravyagana kriyadaya. Vaishnavis. Astu mahata sarga. Ditiyastvahamo yatra. Ditiyastvahamo. Synonyms: adyaha, the first, tu, but, mahataha, of the total element, of the total emanation from the Lord. Sargaha, creation. Gunavaishamyam, interaction of the material modes. Atmanaha, of the Supreme. Dvitiyaha, the second. Tu, but. Ahamaha, false ego. Yatra, wherein. Dravya, material ingredients. Jnana, material knowledge. Kriya udayaha, awakening of activities, work. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Of the first 9 creations, the first one is the creation of the Mahatattva, or the sum total of the material ingredients, wherein the modes interact due to the presence of the Supreme Lord. In the second, the false ego is generated, in which the material ingredients, material knowledge, and material activities arise. Purport: the first emanation from the Supreme Lord For material creation is called Mahatattva. The interaction of the material modes is the cause of false identification or the sense that a living being is made of material elements. The false ego is the cause of identifying the body and mind with the sole proper material resources, and the capacity and knowledge to work are all generated in the second term of creation after the Mahatattva. Jnana indicates the senses which are sources of knowledge and their controlling deities. Work entails the working organs and their controlling deities. All these are generated in the second creation. Hare Krishna. So one more time, we'll read the text. Adyastu mahato sargo guna vaishamya atmanaha vittiyastvat hamo yatra dravya jnana kriyadayaha. Hare Krishna. Now I can also have darshan of Shri Radha Gopinath. Srimad Rasa Rambi Vamshivata Tatastitaha Karshan Venus Smanai Gopir Gopinata Shriyestunaha. So this is, you can say, the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam is very similar to Bhagavad Gita in the sense that first canto is summary, second canto is introduction, and pretty much from the third canto, elaboration starts, right? In the same way as Bhagavad Gita. First chapter is introduction, second chapter is summary, and from third chapter, elaboration starts. So this is the conversation of Vidura and Maitreya. They are briefly discussing the divisions of the creation. And later on, exactly the same topics will be elaborated by Lord Kapiladev, especially 26th chapter. And so the first two stages of creation are explained in here. And as we learn, the first stage is the creation of Mahatattva, of course from Pradhana, when the three modes of material nature become manifest, they activate Pradhana, and so from Pradhana Mahatattva arises. And then the second, immediately after that, second stage is creation of the false ego. And so, of course, the entire material creation is based on false ego. And it's been discussed very elaborately, beginning from Bhagavad Gita, a famous 27th verse of the third chapter, which I'm sure many of you know by heart. Prakriti kriyamana nigunai karmani sarvasha aham karomi mutatma kartaham iti manyate. His Grace Kalakanta Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, he translated Bhagavad Gita in poetic form, which I really liked. So, according to his translation, it is baffled by their egos. People think they can control actions that the modes of nature force upon their souls. So that's the false ego, desire to control, dominate, and of course it's been elaborated more in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So I'm very honored that Krishna gives so much attention to people like myself in Bhagavad Gita, elaborating on such mentality, especially 13th verse of the 16th chapter onwards. I won't bother you with Sanskrit, but this is the translation. Demons think, today I'm rich, with lots of wealth in store. My opponent's dead, and soon I'll kill a dozen more. I'm in charge, and everything is meant for my delight. Everything I do is always absolutely right. Wealthy friends and relatives surround me far and wide. None of them as wealthy and as powerful as I. Now I shall give charity and feed the wretched poor. Thus the demons sink into illusion more and more. Stagnant, vain, and impudent, neglecting regulations. Demons fake some rituals to build their reputations. Done by crazy demons full of anger, pride, and sin, such pretensions desecrate the Lord who dwells within. Flustered by anxiety and lust, they cannot quell. Demons stay attached to sin and fall down into hell. So very graphic description of the false ego and its resultant mentality and activity. And if we look at the chapter 26 of this chapter, of this canto, what Kapila Dev explains, it's actually mind-blowing, because we understand that everything in this world is manifestations of the false ego. He says, false ego in goodness is producing mind. False ego in passion is producing intelligence. False ego in ignorance is producing sound. So basically, we think we deal with so many things, mind, intelligence, false ego, but it's nothing else but false ego alone. The whole world is one big false ego. And then later on in this chapter, he explains, how the different coverings cover the universe, and universe is huge. It's, Srila Prabhupada says, 4 billion miles in diameter. And then the first layer is 10 times thicker than the universe. And next layer is 10 times thicker than the previous one. And next layer is 10 times thicker than the previous one. And it goes on and on and on and on. And one of the last layers before Mahatattva is Ahankara, false ego layer. So, is there any chance to escape from prison house, right? So many walls, especially false ego wall. When I was in school, I went to see one movie. It's Mexican movie, and the title of the movie is Escape. And after watching this movie, I got so depressed that I decided I'll never ever watch any Mexican movie after that. Because, normal movie, at least Hollywood style, is happy end. But this movie was totally different. And the plot was that one man tries to expose some mafia and, reports to the police, but instead of dealing with mafia, they arrest him and fabricate something and put him in jail, because police was also corrupt. And so he has a friend who helps him to escape from jail, and successfully he escapes from jail, and once he is out, he feels relieved, and then police comes and arrests him and puts him back in jail. And then the same friend helps him again, with bribes and all these things. He escapes again, and police catches him and puts him in jail again. For 2 hours, He's escaping, police is catching him, putting back to jail, escaping, putting back to jail, escaping, putting back to jail. And guess what was the end of the movie? He's in jail. So I was so depressed, good man, and he's in jail. No matter how hard he tried. And only when I started practicing Krishna consciousness, I realized it's about us. It's the position of the conditioned soul. No matter how much we try to escape from this material world, escape the miseries of the material world, it's unavoidable. So, and the reason, the biggest and probably the only, jail for us is our false ego. So we are entangled by our own false ego. So what could be worse than false ego? I was thinking probably a fussy ego could be worse than false ego, because everybody has false ego, but not so many people have fussy egos. And so, yeah, the situation in this material world is totally hopeless, and false ego is what makes us suffer. I reflect back on how I used to be before I joined the movement. I was totally ignorant and proud of myself. And now everything changed. So I became opposite to what I used to be. I was ignorant and proud, and now I'm proud and ignorant. And if you think it's a joke, it's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. You can actually cry, because it is true. I can explain that I was ignorant because I was thinking that, goal of life is sense gratification, and I tried to enjoy as much as I could, and was pretty successful, and was very proud that very few people can afford the amount and level of sense gratification I can afford. So, but after I started practicing Krishna consciousness, I realized that false ego didn't go anywhere. But, before I was proud of my sense gratification capacity and opportunities, and now I am proud of being a devotee. And making foolish mistakes because of my pride. I just came from Jagannath Puri, and as we know, it's a very holy place. And so in Jagannath Puri, after pandemic, during the pandemic, I think they made this renovation and they cleared the space around the temple, so anyone can make full parikrama without any traffic, without any disturbance. So, and made it look very nice. And of course, as a Westerner, I have no access to the temple, but I made parikrama around Jagannath. But then, coming from very fallen, very low background, from Islamic background, I should be looking at how real devotees, like Sanatana Goswami, who was serving Muslims and Haridas Thakur, coming from Muslim family, how they behaved. Haridas Thakur didn't even come near the temple. He stayed away and he was meditating on the chakra because he felt himself unqualified to even come near the temple. What to speak about Sanatana Goswami? He was, when he was going to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was taking a detour on the hot sand of the sea, burning his feet. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, why your feet are burned, he said, I was walking on a hot sand. Why did you walk on the sand? Because I didn't want to walk near the temple, because some of the priests could be contaminated by my association, because I'm so low and fallen. So these are real devotees. This is how they behave in Jagannath Puri. And here is Sagar Swami, doing parikramas and not worrying about contaminating anybody. So, and what can I do? I cannot imitate Sanatana Goswami or Haridas Thakur, because if I will do, I'll probably think that I'm as great as them. So, false ego is totally, unavoidable, even if we practice Krishna consciousness. But of course, you can say there is an advancement, because before I was stupid and proud. Stupid means ignorance, right? Pride means passion. But now, proud and stupid. So passion is more prevailing now. So from ignorance to passion, one step up. And of course, before, I was not realizing that there is something wrong with me. I was thinking I'm the greatest gift of God to the humanity. But at least now I'm realizing that there are so many more greater people than me. At least when I come to Chowpatty, I see so many real devotees. So makes me understand things in perspective. But yeah, it's little advancement from comparing to what I used to be, but not much. It's like I spent a few years in UK, mostly living in London, and they have this souvenirs they sell at Oxford Street. And one of those souvenirs, they sell the T-shirts, which say, my friend went to London, and all I got from him as a gift is this lousy T-shirt. So I'm thinking, like practicing for 36 years, practicing, more than 3 decades practicing Krishna consciousness. And all I've got is promotion from ignorance to passion, not even goodness. And little bit, awareness, increase of awareness. But anyway, what can be done? The process takes time. And of course, the solution to the false ego, as Srila Prabhupada highlights in the purport, is to understand our true ego. And many of you know this verse, especially those of you who are doing puja to the deities. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks about our original position. Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasa Anudasa. So we are servants of the Supreme Lord, So that's our original position. And of course, the entire practice of bhakti is meant to shift from the aham consciousness, ahamo. It's very interesting, ahamo, false ego. I was very surprised when I first read Bhagavad Gita, because aham, in many verses, when it comes in the middle of the shloka, turns into ham, right? And in Russian language, ham, that's a little lesson in Russian. Ham means someone who is very impudent and, overbearing. So very interesting, aham, false ego. And of course, if someone is influenced by false ego, that person will be very impudent and overbearing. And another interesting point, in Russian alphabet, there are so many letters, but the last letter is ya. And ya means me. And so in Russian language, it's very common. If someone says I, me, the response is that this is the last letter of the alphabet. So, but, so many people put it first. And, of course, slow but sure, there is a hope to win the race, even for someone like me. And what helps us to realize that we're spirit souls? Anyone has any idea? What is the first and foremost thing which helps us to realize that we are spirit, not material body? Holy name, and something which comes even before the holy name. What comes before the holy name? Hearing, something which is even coming before hearing. Yes, sadhu sangha, association with devotees. Because how many of you noticed that it's so much easier to be Krishna conscious in the association of devotees rather than when you are on your own, right? So this is the most important thing for us, sadhu sangha. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita says that for advancing in Krishna consciousness, we need sadhu sangha. And for advanced devotees, it's also compulsory to keep sadhu sangha. So sadhu sangha from A to Z, that's our hope. And yesterday, I was interacting with a couple of senior brahmacharis here in Chowpatty, Krishna Chandra Prabhu and Sri Vishwambar Prabhu. And they shared that they do very important service, which is interfaith preaching. And I was thinking, we do everything what Srila Prabhupada is doing. We're chanting, we're worshipping deities, we're preaching, we're doing so many other things. But besides all this, Srila Prabhupada was on very regular basis doing interfaith preaching and communications. And unfortunately, these two services are not very common in our society, as they should be. So I was very happy to know that these two senior Vaishnavas are doing this very important service. And of course, Krishna Chandra Prabhu is extremely qualified in this regard. And I know the importance of that, and I'll tell you in a minute why I'm even talking about this interfaith in relation to our topic. Because I'm involved in that myself. And of course, as all of you know from reading Journey Home, that Radhanath Maharaj's history is interfaith history also. He went through so many faiths. And, before he became Krishna conscious, before he started practicing Krishna consciousness. And so yes, by being involved in that, of course, I see the example of my spiritual master, who is also using every single opportunity to establish interfaith contacts and interfaith relationships. So I'm also trying to do that, being part of the URI, biggest interfaith network in the world, and keeping in touch with so many spiritual leaders from different faiths. I know how powerful it is. And first thing is we can learn many things from these people. In a corporate world, in professional world, some of you might know, there is a phenomenon which is very popular. It's called sharing best practices. Many of you know about it. And so in interfaith, it's also there, sharing best practices, because we can learn from other groups so many valuable things. And because so many faith groups are very nice, very good. And being in Los Angeles, I came across an amazing Christian group which belongs to New Thought Christianity. These are the type of Christians which probably Prabhupada would say these are real, genuine Christians, because they accept vegetarian lifestyle, they believe in reincarnation, they're very broad-minded, and they are embracing other faiths, very friendly, very positive, and extremely charismatic. I mean, the charisma, it just goes through the roof in there. It's unbelievable how powerful it is. And actually, it's so inspiring that, you know, Los Angeles is the Western world headquarters of ISKCON. There are so many Prabhupada disciples. And even they, for inspiration, go to that church. Can you imagine that? And I spoke with one devotee. I won't be giving any names because, you know, we have different people listening to classes. Not everyone is as broad-minded as Chowpatty devotees. So I won't be giving the name, but, you know, very, very senior Prabhupada disciple who has done a lot of services to Srila Prabhupada personally, and still very active, very famous personality actually, but very humble, very simple. And I shared with him that I went to this church, and it's really inspiring. He said, wow, I live in here, I never been there. Take me there. I want to see what's going on. And I took him, and I asked him after that, how did it go? And he said, to be honest, that experience of being there brought tears to my eyes. You know, and coming from someone who is not sentimental at all, and, you know, very seasoned senior Vaishnava, that was a powerful statement. And he said, one thing which brought tears to his eyes was their welcome, how they welcomed him. And because this welcome they have makes you feel that you're really not the body, but you are spirit soul. This is how powerfully they welcome. And just a quick question, how many of you would like to have a powerful spiritual experience right here, right now? Anyone? So we could do something similar to what they are doing there, just to introduce to that, you know, very powerful tool. We just need a few devotees in the audience who may be not feeling so inspired, who needs a little boost of inspiration. If you are in that category, please raise your hand. Few devotees. Okay. Any ladies need a boost? We need at least one. Nobody wants any boost? Okay, one. Okay, so those who raised their hands, they can sit with few devotees and they will be addressing you. They will say few words, repeating after me. So, those who raised their hands, please stand up. Somebody else? Okay. Someone else? Okay, please come forward. Okay, we have 3 brahmacharis, 1 Prabhu here. So, and 1 lady. Who was the lady? Okay, please stand up. And, spread yourself even. And I want all other devotees, make a circle around these devotees. Let them sit in the middle, and you can sit around them. So please come somewhere so that devotees would make a circle around you. Circle, semicircle, doesn't matter. But you would have to face that devotee and look at that devotee. No. That you also raised your hand, Prabhu, right? So you have to have circle on your own. You have to have a separate circle. Yes. So everyone's ready? You don't have to look at me. You just have to hear what I'm saying and repeat these words addressing that devotee. Is that clear? What you have to do? Ladies? Yeah? Yeah, just make a circle facing that devotee. That devotee who needs an inspiration, you don't have to say anything. But those who want to inspire that devotee, you have to repeat after me. Are you ready? And you can pretend that this is your first time in the temple, those who need inspiration, right? And addressing that devotee, all together, please repeat after me. Ready? Hare Krishna. Welcome to Shri Radha Gopinath. We recognize you. We see who you truly are. You are the spiritual image in the very likeness of Krishna, a unique emanation of beauty, love, and divine intelligence. Indeed, you are one of a kind, wonderful, one of a kind, magnificent, brilliant, unfolding genius. And today, we'll get to celebrate your very existence. We're celebrating your infinite potential. We appreciate you, and we thank Krishna for you. Welcome to Shri Radha Gopinath. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you. So, how did it make you feel? Did it help you to get more inspiration? Yes? It's very interesting, right? You can say if you want. You can share how that made you feel.
I didn't know there's so much glory about me. But yeah, all of those statements, although it might appear an exaggeration, but then that's true for everyone. Each one of us is a spark of Krishna, carrying, emanating beauty, love, kindness, and So it's true. It's all true for everyone. I could see that potential has to be harnessed.
Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj, for those beautiful statements.
And probably the biggest question, how do we create this atmosphere so that we have this atmosphere all the time, right? So that's sadhu sangha. If you see the best in everyone, if you see others as spirit soul, and how many of you felt when you say these wonderful things, you also feel inspired? Yes? So this is how it works. And then, of course, Krishna consciousness is helping us to grow through the process. And we know there are 5 levels of consciousness, right? Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. And, very briefly, Annamaya is when we're interested only in food. I know that Chowpatty devotees also were figuring out what to do with Annamaya folks who come to the temple only for prasadam, for nothing else. So, but this is the first level of interest in Krishna consciousness. And then Pranamaya comes. You're interested not only in prasadam, but in relationships with devotees. And then Manamaya, you want to take some responsibility, right? And Jnanamaya, you want to understand spiritual knowledge. And of course, then Anandamaya, you want to fully dedicate yourself to Krishna consciousness. So these are the steps of spiritual growth for all of us. And no matter how slow it seems to be, the process, it still works, which is the most important thing. We might be lamenting that, I might be lamenting that after over 3 decades of practice, I didn't become a devotee, unfortunately. But anyway, I have to pretend that I am a devotee because prasadam is too good. So there is, even if we haven't achieved much, whatever we've achieved is still so much better than the topmost achievements in the material world, and that should be our inspiration. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much for your kind listening. So we'll stop here, and we won't have time for, one question.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for such a profound class and very, very deep. So my question to you is that how do we, like you yourself in the talk said that this false ego is almost unavoidable. And so what is the hope to get rid of this false ego, this pride? We see Brahmaji praying, we see Indra getting pride.
Yes.
We see like you have given your life, and it's almost because of your humility you are saying so, but it's so difficult. So what is the hope for people like us who are in the Grihastha life?
Yeah.
So can you please throw some light? And
yeah, I remember one song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he says, Lord in the form of a holy name is the hope for hopeless. So actually, when we become totally hopeless, then we can fully surrender. So surprisingly enough, the understanding that I'm totally hopeless helps us to fully surrender unto Krishna, because we understand it's only Krishna. Only Krishna can help. Otherwise, yeah. we might count on ourselves too much. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.